Hello and welcome to this Electrical Science and Principles training video. In this video we're going to answer question 5 of the 8202 Level 3 written answer exam from April 2022. All the information here is freely and readily available from the City and Guilds website, so we're not giving away answers to future exams here. We're merely going over answers from old ones for those people who want to know what they should have put for the answer and how to work that answer out. First of all, a huge thanks to Laith Ismail, someone else calling themselves the oldest apprentice in the Northwest, and from the longest username to the shortest, someone called Ga, who all brought me coffees recently. I really cannot thank you all enough for that. Laith particularly said that he feels like he owes me a debt and wish it could be more, but seriously, the fact that someone would just reach into their pocket and send me some cash as a thanks just absolutely blows my mind. So please don't feel like you owe me anything. And also a big thanks to Andrew Brown for donating via Super Thanks. It really is very much appreciated. If you'd like to donate to the channel, then please click the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description below, but please don't feel pressured to do so. Times are hard and I don't want anyone being left out of pocket. Okay, so on to the question for this video. It goes as follows. Determine the neutral current within a three-phase circuit where the current for each phase is L1 is equal to 80 amps, L2 is equal to 60 amps, and L3 is equal to 40 amps. So let's try and figure this one out. Now, the exciting thing about this exam and this question is that you are allowed access to BS 7671 in the exam. And although most of the time the book is not the most useful to have access to in an exam on science and principles, in this case it is awesome because there's a formula in there that will help you to answer this question. You'll find it in Annex 722, which is just at the back of section 722, and it looks a bit like this. Now, I have been through this formula in some detail in a previous video, so please go and check that out if you haven't watched it already. So let's get the formula thrown up on the board. Now, I think in the regs, I think it's stated as IM, but what I tend to do is I tend to use IN for this, because then you've got the current in the N for neutral. And then basically what you've got is a great big square root symbol, and then you take the current in each one of the line conductors, each one of the phases, and square them, and then just add them all together. Now, it's possible that you'll see this written down in slightly different ways with brackets around different things, and actually that's what it shows in the marking criteria. But I think you're actually probably running a greater risk of throwing something off here if you do rely on brackets to get this right, because actually your calculator will cope with this without any brackets going in whatsoever, because it kind of knows where they should be. So what we're doing is we're squaring the current in each one of the phases and adding them together, and then we are subtracting each phase current multiplied by every other phase current. So it looks like this. We've got L1 times by L2, and then we take away L1 times L3, and then we take away L2 times L3. So it looks like that. Just extend that square root symbol because I never make those long enough on the first try. Okay, so now at first glance this looks absolutely bonkers. Okay, this looks like a really terrifying formula, and trying to remember this is a little bit of a challenge. This is one that even I struggle to remember, and I'm pretty good at electrical formulas, but it's in the regs book. Okay, so knowing where to find the information is often as important as knowing the information itself. So that's what we're aiming for. We've got, again, it looks scary, but if you kind of break it down into its component parts, it's not too bad. What we're doing is we're squaring each one of the currents and then adding them together. That's that chunk there. And then we're taking each current and multiplying it by every other current and subtracting each of those values from the total answer here. And then we're just square rooting the whole thing. So let's have a little look at what that looks like when we go to the next line down. I'm going to change colours here because I think it can get a little bit, just one massive colour if you're not careful. So let's end up with IN is equal to the square root of, and now we're going to put the numbers in, okay? And what's quite nice about the 8202 is that this is one of those exams where you do get some credit for showing your working out. And this is one of the things that I've tried to instill in my learners from day one. Like, even if they're doing a multiple choice exam, I always get them to go, formula, numbers, answer every single time, because actually there's kind of points available even if you get the wrong final answer. So if you manage to remember the formula, that's great. I think the marking criteria refers to it as basic recall. I don't think there's anything basic about recalling this if you haven't got your regs book. And then there's like a couple of points available if you show all your working out and it's all right, and then you get a point for your final answer. But even if you go wrong in here somewhere because you've got a number in the wrong place, you can still get some points because you've kind of shown that you know the process, even if you've just kind of slipped up with the actual execution. So formula, numbers, answer every time for every exam. You can't really go wrong with that. So let's volley these numbers in. So we've got L1 squared, so that's 80. So we've got 80 squared. And then L2 is 60. So that's 60 squared. And then we've got 40 squared. And then we're going to subtract from that L1 times L2. So that's 80 multiplied by 60. And then we're going to subtract from that L1 times L3, which is 80 times 40. And then we're going to subtract from that L2 times L3, which is 60 times 40. Okay, told you I'll never get those square root symbols long enough. Okay, so what we'll do now is we could kind of go through this and kind of put in every stage. So we could put down what 80 squared is, we could put down what 60 squared is, and so on and so forth. But actually, I think at that point, you kind of get into the point where really you're taking too long over the question, showing too much working out. If that's the way you want to do it, that's absolutely fine. But at this point, I would just go straight from here, straight into the calculator, and that'll give you your answer. So I'm going to bring in calculator cam. What we're going to do is we're going to put these numbers into the calculator. So first of all, we'll turn it on. You have to forgive me if my fingers are slipping all over the place here. Trying to do this through the camera is no joke. So we're going to go for the square root of, and then we just volley the formula in as we did. And what you'll notice is that that square root symbol at the top there, that is just going to extend as we put in all the different numbers. So 80, and then there's your little squared button, 80 squared, and then we just carry on. So plus 60 squared plus 40 squared, and then we keep going from there. We're going to take away 80 times 60, and we're going to take away 80 times 40, and then we're going to take away 60 times 40. That's a 1 Joe times 40. There we go. Now, again, one of the things just to watch out for, just a word of warning, I don't believe you're able to take an iPhone into one of these exams to use as a calculator. I would hope you can't. So just bear in mind, this will work perfectly on the Casio FX85 GTX, and I believe it will work on its predecessor as well, which I use in a lot of my videos. But it'd be a good idea to check your calculator gives you the same answer as me when you do this, to make sure that you can use this method of inputting into your calculator. Otherwise you might have to break it down into a few more steps. But really, this is the calculator you should be taking into exams. I've done videos recommending this calculator. I believe in it. I think it's a great bit of kit, and I use it in pretty much all my videos, that and its predecessor as well. So let's hit the equals button. So again, the calculator is perfectly capable of kind of knowing where all the brackets are in this, because it applies BODMAS correctly. So we don't need to worry about putting this all in brackets, even though that's what it shows in the marking scheme. When we hit equals here, we come out with this great answer, 20 times root 3. That's a brilliant answer, isn't it? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense when it comes to current. But actually, that value is kind of the most accurate way of writing this, because the answer is irrational. And if we press the little SD button down here, see that one there? If we press that button there, that will change that into a decimal answer. And you can see there that we've come out with 34 point, I'm going to round that off to 2 decimal places, 64 amps. So 34.64 amps. Okay, so we've got our answer, and the answer is 34.64. So IN in this case is equal to 34.64 amperes, which I'm sure you'll agree is really rather beautiful as a solution. Now, there are lots of other ways of doing this, and the marking criteria is a little bit vague on whether you can kind of go through this using the graphical method or using the triangular method, both of which I've explained in other videos. It does allow you to assign a mark where you've got basic recall of the triangle with the correct angles, but actually it doesn't go on to say whether you can then kind of give the full marks for the right answer. And there's 4 marks available for this, which is quite significant. But the marking criteria basically says you get a mark for remembering the formula or the triangle, and then it kind of drops all mention of the triangle from there on. So it then goes on to say that you get a couple of points if you get this bit completely right, or there might be a couple of points or 1 point available if you get some of it right, but you kind of put the numbers in a bit all over the place, and then there's 1 mark for the final answer. So again, it is the right thing to do to go formula, numbers, answer. And of course, you've got your friend in the regulations, you've got your friend in BS 7671, which I would hope you'd be taking into this exam with you, because I think there's some of the kind of design questions that you'd probably struggle to answer if you didn't have that with you. So that's how we answer that question. Really nice and simple. That's the answer to question 8 in the level 3 8202 exam from March 2022. So please hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed, and hit the bell to turn your notifications on so you'll get all the latest content, and stay tuned for the next question in this series. Again, if you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee or a tea, then please click the link in the description. But again, there is absolutely no pressure to do so. All that remains in this video is to say thank you very much for watching, and check out these videos here.